We have just got back from picking up our kitten. His name is Taco and he is a ginger Maine Coon.
And in this video we're basically going to show you how he adapts to van life, probably over the course of a month or so, because there's quite a few things we want to tick off and they might take a little bit of time.
Yep, so far he has been really good. We had a really long journey back. We had about a 6-hour drive. He did not like his carrier, but we're hoping we can work on this and he can eventually travel in the van, in the carrier. But we will see how that goes. In this whole video we're going to follow his journey on how he adapts to different things like that.
Yeah, we only got back about an hour ago and let him straight out the carrier. He had a good old look around and it didn't take him too long to get his bearings, did it? He was playing with us on the bed after about 20 minutes. So yeah, he seems very chill, but he's very, very tired. So he's just kind of crashed out behind us at the moment. He's having a bit of a clean. So we'll pick this up properly tomorrow and we'll show you his first full day of van life.
So we were kept awake most of the night because someone wanted to jump on our heads and play all night. So when we got back last night, we got back about 6 PM and we let him sleep because he was so tired. And he slept till midnight before he woke up and then was awake all night. So we haven't got any sleep.
No, not really. It hasn't been the best night, but he seems comfortable here. So there's a few things that we want to kind of get right over the course of this month. We want to get him comfortable in the van, which I think
he seems pretty comfortable already.
He's pretty comfortable. We want to get him used to moving around. Now that's obviously quite a big one. We live in a van, we constantly move and he needs to be okay with that. We need to get him harness trained as well because again we live in a van, it's a small space, we want to be able to take him out on walks, take him out with us. He's basically a dog in cat version and that's again partly why we chose a Maine Coon. And then the other thing is we want to get him used to us not being in the van. This isn't going to happen often, but on the odd occasion that we do both need to nip out somewhere, we want to know that he's okay. So yeah, that's kind of what's going to be happening throughout this video, getting used to all them different points. But today we do have to move the van, don't we?
Yes.
It's funny how he's sleeping now, isn't it?
I'm such a sleepy boy now.
Alright, it's moving time. I don't really want to because he was a little bit freaked out on the way back yesterday when he was in the carrier, but that is what we want to get him used to. So we've actually got just a way through to the front here and basically we're going to pass him through into the carrier, zip him in and then come out and round. There we go.
I've dropped his ball now.
Oh no, he's getting out.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
Things will get smoother.
I'll get him out my lap. Okay, he's alright, he's alright, he's alright.
So this is what we found yesterday bringing him back, that he did freak out a bit in the carrier and then as soon as he was settled on Amy's lap he calmed right down and he was absolutely fine. We don't really want to keep him that way the whole time though, do we? Let's see how he goes. Because yeah, he hasn't actually been out in this van yet, has he?
It's alright.
Is he alright?
No.
Did we just stop? Alright.
Yeah.
So we've let him roam around a little bit with us just sitting here. He's decided he prefers being with us than he does in the back on his own.
He just doesn't want to move.
He doesn't want to move, which is an issue for van life. Take 2.
Good boy.
It's the end of day 1 of van life for Taco. And to be fair, he's been a very, very good boy. He still didn't like the driving around and we were thinking of ways that we can do it. We had the carrier on the bed for a little bit and we thought we'd try and get him used to it that way so he doesn't associate it as a bad thing. But I think the most important thing at the moment is just to get him used to moving around. So even if that means that he's on Amy's lap for the time being until we can get him to a point that he's comfortable to then be in the harness, or even just don't want him roaming really, but if that's what we need to do just to get him used to the movement of the van, just short term, then maybe we can do that and then progress him into the front and then into obviously the carrier. If he's really against the carrier, then maybe we'll start using his harness. We've got a little harness that we want to get him used to, so maybe we can get him used to being in that and then potentially sitting on the seat with a little seatbelt clip. You can clip the seatbelt into a harness and then he's still kind of attached if the worst did happen. But I think considering he's been in the van for a day, he's been a very, very good boy and he's progressed a lot, haven't you? Hey? Maybe we should let him sleep now. Well, we have had him for a week now, and we thought we'd do a little 1 week update. So far, so good-ish.
Yeah.
It could have gone worse, couldn't it?
It could have gone worse.
Could have gone a lot worse. But as you can see, the first thing we talk about is his harness, because he is a big, brave boy wearing his harness. And to start with, he was trying to bite it off, wasn't he?
Yeah, it hasn't been too bad, isn't it, though? Like, he didn't freak out at all. Like, he didn't, freak out and try and get out of it at all. He's just a bit irritated by it, a bit just biting it and stuff.
Yeah, it's a little bit too big for him at the moment, so his legs have been coming through where his legs shouldn't go through. But aside from that, he's been pretty good with it. He's been running about, he's been playing, he's been eating, sleeping, doing whatever he would do normally, but he's been doing it in the harness. So that's really good news. We haven't taken him out yet because we just want to get him used to the harness, don't we, and get him comfortable in it. But that'll be...
I don't think it'll be long, though.
No, I reckon next week. I think once he feels out that little bit more around his chest and his legs aren't getting through, then we're probably taking him out. But yeah, so far so good with that.
So the next thing to talk about is sleeping, or lack of sleeping. We assumed that a kitten would sleep for a very long time. Like, we googled it before we got him, and it was like 20 hours a day. I think he sleeps probably for about 6 maybe. 6
Yeah,
or 8.
something like that.
And it's not overnight.
Yeah, mainly during the day. Isn't it?
Yeah, he probably sleeps for about 4 hours each night, about midnight to about 4 a.m, and then he wakes up and is really naughty and jumps on our head, climbs the curtains. And obviously we can't shut him out like a normal kind of household would. You shut him out, you should put him in a different room. We can't do that.
It's kind of a one room, isn't it, in a van?
So we are stuck with him jumping on our head. We've been trying to train him a little bit to go back to sleep after he's eaten.
He's getting there. A couple of mornings he has he's nodded off for another hour. Then we've been up at 5:30 instead of 4:30, which is a lovely lay-in.
Yeah, I think we need to get him into a bit of a routine in the next few weeks. But yeah, at the moment we are letting him sleep during the day. I don't know whether to try and keep him awake during the day, but as soon as he goes to sleep during the day, we think, oh, we've actually got a bit of a break, so it's quite nice.
Yeah, he's we've tried wearing him out, haven't we, of an evening? And literally been playing from 9 till 12, thinking, right, he's going to be knackered now. He does go off to sleep, but it just doesn't change how long for. I think because he had a lot of brothers and sisters where he came from, and they were all kind of out, they weren't in cages or anything like that overnight, then if he wanted to play at 4 in the morning, his siblings would play. We don't quite like that. We want to sleep. So that's something we need to get him used to. Hopefully, as he gets a little bit older, that'll get a bit better, won't it? But he's been really good in terms of litter training and that sort of thing. Obviously, he came trained, but it's still a different place for him. So we were expecting an accident here or there, but so far he's been really good. No accidents. He knows where the litter tray is. He takes himself off to it all the time. So that's really good.
But just generally, he seems very happy. He's eating really well. He's playing loads, he's constantly playing. And yeah, he seems really happy in the van. At first, the first few days, he was like conscious of any little noise or anything, but now he literally doesn't faze him at all.
I think even opening the skylight at the back, he was like, oh my God, what's happening? And now he just stays asleep for the 4 to 6 hours that he is asleep, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's very used to the van. He loves the van.
Now, obviously, one of the other big points of having a cat in a van is driving around. And you saw when we tried earlier in the video, he wasn't too happy, was he?
No.
So we've kind of taken quite a few steps back, but it's made him happier. So what we really didn't want to do is have him roaming around the van. So what we've decided to do is let him roam around the van. But just for now, because we want to get him confident with the van moving, that seemed a lot better, hasn't it?
Yeah, so obviously we live in the van, we have to move it. We're not on a site anywhere, we're not on a campsite, we have to move the van. We can't stay anywhere for a month, but I mean, he wouldn't get used to it, and if we did anyway, so we have to constantly be moving. So we wanted him just to be okay for now. And this is the way that he's okay right now. We're going to change it and we're going to develop it, but right now he is happy being on the bed while we drive the van.
Yeah, again, that's changed very quickly over the course of the week, because to start with, we'd turn the engine on and we'd look back through, because we've been keeping the front open so we can see him. We'd look back through and he'd be like, oh my God, what's going on?
Yeah.
But now, even at the end, no, it doesn't. We put the engine on, we start moving, and he knows to stay on the bed now, and he just kind of gets himself comfortable, and he's like, oh, this again. So that's already massive progress compared to how it was. I think the plan is we're going to start having the harness on him whilst we move, so then he can get used to having that kind of feeling around him. And then after that, once he's comfortable with that, then we try and move him into the front, still loose, still not constricted into any carriers or anything like that. And then hopefully he'll get used to the movement but being up front, and then eventually I think it's got to be like a seatbelt harness, isn't it? I don't think the carrier is the way forward, really.
No, he freaks out the carrier completely.
Weirdly though, we had a vet trick, didn't we?
We did, and he was kind of okay. He still didn't like it. He still stressed him out, but he was a lot better than when we drive in the carrier.
I don't think he likes the movement in the carrier knowing he can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
But walking along the road from the van to the vets, is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It was good as gold in the vets as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So they just gave him a general health check, just weighed him to see how he was, put on a little bit of weight since a couple of weeks ago when he had his final jabs. I think he was up to 2.7 kilos. Mm. So he's putting on a little bit. Yeah, all happy with how he is and everything, and we've booked him in to have his little balls chopped off at the end of the month. So yeah, just don't tell him that because he's asleep quite happily now. But yeah, overall, I think it's been pretty good for the first week, isn't it? Yeah,
for considering we literally picked him up a week ago, it's been so much progress already. So in a few months, I reckon he'll be the perfect little van cat.
Hopefully.
As
long as he sleeps
if we can get some sleep.
Right, start of week 2, and to be fair, it hasn't been too bad. We haven't done a great deal with him because we're actually house sitting at the moment, but that has been really beneficial because the main thing we've been working on this week is actually leaving him for short periods of time. So we've been nipping into the house just to do a bit of dinner and things like that. And if you've seen the cat proofing video, you'll know that in the top corner of our van we've got a little camera so we can actually view that on our phone so we can see what he's up to. And he's been pretty good, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's been really good. So
mainly just slept.
Yeah, I don't think we haven't came back to chaos at any point. But you will notice Amy's been putting his harness on, and because we're cat sitting at the moment, we've got access to a house, we've got access to a garden. So today's the day that we try and take him outside on the lead for the first time. He's been really good with his harness, hasn't he? Like playing, running, jumping, doing everything. So hopefully he'd be all right outside. So we'd rather do it somewhere like this where we know we've got, somewhere a little bit safer than just having him out in the open, out in the countryside, something like that. So is he ready?
Yes, let's go.
Let's do it. Well, overall, I think that was pretty successful. We've been out here about 20 minutes, half hour.
Yeah.
He's been loving it. Been exploring.
He's got a lot more confident over the time.
That's what we've noticed with him though. Like to start with, he'd be shaking a good one, and then like once he gets that little bit more confident, which is really quickly, he'll want to explore everywhere and go and investigate. And now he'll probably want to jump out the van every time we open the door.
Yeah.
But it's good progress. Well, he is knackered, isn't he? Yeah. So we're going to take advantage of this because, like we said, we're house sitting at the moment. So we've been nipping in, doing dinner. Probably the longest we've left him is what, about an hour?
About that, yeah.
We thought we'd go for a pub meal. Take full advantage.
Excited. So we haven't really been properly out for the 2 weeks we've had him. So yeah, very excited for this.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be really good. But yeah, we've obviously got the camera all set up like we said about earlier. So we'll check in when we get to the pub and just make sure he's not causing any havoc. But we're walking there anyway, so we can't do much about it, whatever happens.
No.
Right, where is he? Oh, he's on the bed.
Hello.
He's on the bed.
Hello, sleepy. Hello.
Oh boy. That is the longest we've left him so far, which must have been what, 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
So quite a long time. We kept checking checking our little camera. Well, it's just up there at the moment. Kept checking that and he was asleep the whole time. I think, did he move from one side to the other? So he rolled over?
Yeah.
I don't think he was too bothered we were out.
No.
So it's now been 6 weeks since we actually first picked up Taco, and this is going to be the last update we do because obviously this is all about introducing him to van life, and he's getting on pretty well. So a couple of weeks ago we did have him neutered. He wasn't too happy with us. He had to wear a cone for a few days, but he healed up really quickly. He was running about playing in no time, still eating and still being as mischievous as he always is. But yeah, we've been taking him out a lot more as well, haven't we?
Yeah, so one of the main things we wanted to do is be able to take him out on a harness and lead train him. Obviously some cats don't react well to it, but he has done so well with it. He absolutely doesn't mind the harness at all. He loves going outside, and we recently, just this weekend, we took him to our first campsite, and it was quite empty. There wasn't many people around at all, so we had him out a lot, and he was chasing all the bugs and running around, and he just had a great time outside.
Yeah, he did.
So that is a massive thing that we're really happy that's happened.
There was a few main things, obviously, as we set out at the start of this video, but being able to take him out actually exploring was one of the main ones, wasn't it? And he's absolutely fine with that. We don't really walk him.
You can't really walk a cat. He
No.
kind of just walks us, or just goes where he wants. But I don't know if that's because he's just sniffing everything at the moment and getting used to things. Maybe over time, when he's a bit older, he'll actually walk with us or follow us. But at the moment, we just kind of take him out and stand with him, and he just runs around chasing bugs and stuff.
Yeah, he seems to be pretty content. Another thing, as you know, was driving around with him. That was a massively important thing to us, and he's definitely got a lot better, but that's still kind of in development, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's absolutely fine with the whole concept of driving now. He's still a little bit dubious about being in the front with us, so that is the thing that we're still working on. We've got him a lot more confident actually being in the front, haven't we? And he's been walking around the cab, just getting used to actually being there. He's obviously been on your lap a little bit more, hasn't he? And there's been a few times where he's kind of sat on Amy's lap and he's been looking out the window, and he's been okay with it, but he does want to get back into the back. We've now got a harness coming, haven't we? A seatbelt harness. So that is going to be the final step, really. I think the fact he's more confident being in the front, more confident being on your lap, that's the final thing to get. So
we just want to find a way to secure him. And in a way that doesn't really stress him out, and obviously the carrier really does stress him out. So yeah, we hopefully this option works, because it's kind of the best of both. He's still secure, but he also is free in a way.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of works for everyone.
Obviously the main thing we needed was him to be okay and comfortable living in this van, and he is. He completely is. He treats it like his home. It's just normal to him, so that is exactly what I wanted. He jumps all over the sides, and it's just like a normal cat in a house, but this is his home. So
he's been a lot
really
better as well, hasn't he? Because obviously when we first got him, he was quite naughty, and it was almost like he was kind of finding his feet a little bit, gauging what he can get away with as well. But even over the last 6 weeks, he has calmed down quite a bit, and I think that is partly due to taking him outside a lot more as well.
Burning his energy off. And
and I think it just helps stop boredom, doesn't it? Because he's constantly seeing different things. Again, we've had him out today. He's behind the camera, crashed out big time already. So it doesn't mean we've got to take him out for hours and hours every day, but just little and often is enough to kind of keep him stimulated, I guess, and just keep him a much happier cat. But I think, is that about it?
That's it.
We've successfully introduced Taco to Vanlife.
Yeah, we have a cat in a van.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so our first time actually out with him will be in a couple of weeks' time, where we're going to our first festival, which is Campervan Campout. We went to this last year, it was amazing, really enjoyed it. This is not cool. So this year it should be set to be a pretty good one as well, and a lot of people are looking forward to meeting him, aren't they?
Yeah.
So if you are at Campervan Campout, then make sure you come and find us if you want to come and see Taco. If you're not, then we will have a video following that one as well. So thanks for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.